Beautiful, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joesephyr, and in today's video we're going to be recapping the events for September over in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, and I'm doing this live on stream as I always do, and we have lots of exciting stuff coming about. We've got Lunafreya, we've got Yuri, we've got other bits and pieces, so if you want to find out more about all of those and more, then stay tuned and keep on watching. As always, don't forget to check out all of my social media link in the description box below, and as you can see, if I point in the right direction, I am actually streaming this live, so it's always an interesting exercise to film these videos live while there's lots of people watching. So hello to all of you. And I do have a very cool announcement to make as well. Thanks to the generosity of my viewers and all of you, and the fact that you guys have been so wonderful to me, I am going to be going to San Diego TwitchCon, which is incredible. And I've made obviously a lot of the way towards it. It was a very expensive endeavor. I never expected that it was something that I was going to be able to do. I am going to be leaving the goal up because it doesn't cover the whole thing by a long stretch. But a massive thank you goes out to all of you, to Sooty Band for their very kind generosity for the course of today as well. And I'm going to be doing a subathon for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 next week. I am going to be also doing a stream in drag, and we think we may have found a pretty cool drag name. So shout out to Zio for that one, and I will announce that more nearer the time. But lots of very exciting things, and I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for just being a part of this journey. Like, it's such a cool way to kick off my third year as a streamer, and there's so many ways in which I want to improve, and I hope that I get to learn some of that stuff over in San Diego. So if you happen to be going, let me know. It would be lovely to meet some of you guys. Like, it would be amazing for you guys to come along and to say hello. It would be incredible. Anyways, back to the video, of course. And I do always shout out one of my patrons over on Patreon every time I release a video, and today that person's going to be Sergeant Tuffy, who has Thancred as their title card. A massive thank you goes out to you and to all of my patrons, as without you guys I wouldn't be able to continue doing what I do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And of course, big thanks to Crystal and Joshua for the community stream itself, and to all of the other content creators and influencers and resources for Opera Omnia, as without you guys this community would not exist. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about here that we have seen from the community stream is some quality of life improvements, which are actually, they're not huge, but they're pretty nice. So we see the ability to copy a party and paste it elsewhere if you want to use the same characters and all of that. If you wanted to, you can use equipped call abilities as being attached to the party that you're in as opposed to the character. So it's going to be a lot nicer to just manipulate your call abilities. I think that's a really good shout. And also you're able to look at the held passives that you have access to through your artifacts, so you know whether you actually need to overwrite anything or not. So nothing super crazy, but it's all nice stuff. But obviously the big sort of exciting thing that's coming about at the moment is going to be the new story chapter, which will be happening on Wednesday for me, Tuesday night if you're in the US, depending on where you are in the world. And luckily, I've already done a video that covers all of this, because this is the event that's going to carry Lunafreya with it. So also, yeah, big shout out there. The artwork is very nice for that trailer. So yes, Lunafreya, Ultimisia, and then obviously we get to see Yang and Barsh and Lion come around, and Cypher. So if you happened to have not gotten any of those characters, you can get them here. But of course the main attraction is Lunafreya. So if you're interested in Lunafreya, then perhaps you might want to take a look at my Should You Pull video, or one that has been made by anybody in this community. She's one of the most hyped characters there's been in a very, very long time. So perhaps consider taking a look at her. So the other thing that we're going to talk about here is the fact that we have a Portal App campaign. We often get these, they're quite a regular thing, but there's Force enhancement points there. Well, there's enhancement points, maybe not Force enhancement. It'd be nice if the final goal gives us some enhancement stones or Force stones or something like that, because or high power stones. They are all things that we are lacking in, but free stuff is free stuff, quite rightfully said down below. And then on September 5th, we're going to be getting Iroha's Intersecting Wills, and Iroha is going to be returning with her FR. Now, her FR is a really nice one, like Ursula, in that it doesn't have a huge amount of restrictions on it. It's quite easy to fulfill the condition, so it makes for a really nice generic FR if you're lacking one like that. And it's, of course, another opportunity to get Lunafreya BT. And, you know, the thing with Iroha is that she comes back with a BT later on. So if you're a fan of Iroha, you might want to wait until then, unless you're actively still pulling for Lunafreya BT. 7 becomes slightly less mediocre, and Raijin quite nicely gets his force leveling. So that's really nice as well. And then on September 8th, we get the second part of this story chapter with, again, fairly nice artwork with Squall and Cypher here. And that's going to feature Sabin, and it's also going to be the return of Kuja. Kuja don't get a lot here, to be honest. He don't get much. He gets a few extra HP dumps. That's kind of all I have to say about him in this manner, unfortunately. Sabin, on the other hand, I do really enjoy, and I actually do actively want Sabin's FR. It's based on wind and holy damage, so if you have built yourself up to be in a position to be able to enchant for wind and holy, you can actually do a really good amount of damage with his FR, and he's very fun to play with. Is he a mandatory character? Not by a long shot. Is he good fun to play with? Absolutely. And then for the rest of the banners that we're going to be seeing over the course of September, you're going to see the Autumn Festival. Now, the Autumn Festival is pretty typical festival-y type thing where we get Golden Gigantor missions that are going to give us 4 stone fragments, some status badges. I'm here for the s'mores, honestly. I'm here for the s'mores. And then the fact that we get, like, more bits and pieces. But the thing that people are going to care about here is the fact that there are free multi-draws for the rest of the month. Now, that obviously means that Lunafreya's batch does not have free pulls on it, whereas the next character's does. And then we also have new player campaign here, which we saw only a few months ago, but it's returning here. This campaign is exclusively for new players. So if you're an existing player, this isn't going to present much for you. But the fact that new players can jump in, get loads of extra resources. If you're sitting there and doing your re-rolling, for example, then you might want to consider doing some of this. And that's it for that. Kind of close out this month, we'll have a quick look at what's going to be happening in the second batch of BT here, and we're going to be seeing Yuri return. Now, I'm actually very excited for Yuri because I really enjoy his kit. I find him very enjoyable to play with. I find his story where his sister comes in for his buffs, I think is really cool. I really enjoy it, and his BT actually kind of plays into what I like as well. It's very interesting, and he kind of comes out with a blind aura on his BT, and it's actually very, very cool. Lots of people in my chat are talking about the fact that I sneezed, and I had to re-record this bit, so do excuse that. And he's going to be returning with Cyan, Leon, and that's Vayne's banner, so I'm not talking about that. There's going to be Toby back with Eld Nash, as well as Yuffie and Gladio. Now, Gladio is one you want to be keeping an eye out on, because Gladiolus becomes an absolute boss with his stuff. Like, really, really good. So he's somebody you're going to absolutely going to keep an eye on, for sure. But yes, after Yuri on September 19th, as I said, we're going to get Vayne's banner. Don't do this live, it's not good for you. And as a big old fan of Vayne, we like this. So, like, there's going to be 2 banners here where you're going to get Vayne's BT or Yuri's. Obviously, I already have Vayne, so I'm going to be going for Yuri's. And Vayne's FR is very much built around his kit for re-breaking. If you like Gabranth, you'll like this kind of thing that you'll see here. And returning Cyan and Leon is a nice shout as well. Like, Leon getting his rework and bringing him back up to par. And then Cyan getting force levels. If you didn't get maybe Cyan LD for the call ability the last time, then you have another opportunity to get it here. I actually don't have either Leon or Cyan, so this is actually a very valuable banner for me because I want Yuri BT, I want Vayne FR, and I wouldn't mind those LDs either. And then finally, closing out the month is one that a lot of people are going to be wanting to get their hands on. Core. Now, Core's still solid now. Before he's gotten his rework at his FR, this was the point at which Core was released in JUP, and there was a bit of kind of confusion as to whether the event would be the same as it was when he came out, because he was a global first release for us. But it should be different based on the fact that the characters on his banner are different, and therefore the synergies will be different, so it wouldn't make sense for the event to be the same thing twice. But Core becomes godly again. Like, he gets extra HP dumps and all of his stuff. His Reaper's Gale only takes 7 charges to come up with, and his FR is an off-turn damage-based FR, which immediately makes it really good. Though don't count Gao out either. Like, Gao gets his rework on C90 here, and he's actually pretty solid too. Like, it's not one that a lot of people are excited for, but he's actually pretty good. So, Core is probably going to be a big one for a lot of people, but obviously Lunafreya is going to be a big one for a lot of people. If you don't have Gladio already, you're probably going to want to pick him up as well. There's a lot of very exciting banners for players this time around. The other thing that I will mention is that Dare to Defy is up in the air at the moment. There was no mention of it directly on stream, but like polls were taken during the community stream, and apparently they are split down the middle as to whether people love it or whether they hate it or whether they felt neutral about it. I feel neutral about it, leaning on liking it. I think it needs a bit of work, but I like the idea. Like, I think it does really well, and we had a lot of fun kind of speed running Dare to Defy, and we managed to get 6 out of 7 done in the 2 hours before the stream, and it would have been 7 if I hadn't fluffed one up on that second round, and that really annoyed me. But other than that, I am curious to see what you guys think. Do you guys like Dare to Defy? Do you guys enjoy it? Do you guys hate it? Let me know in the comments below and let me know what you think. So that's everything we have for the month of September in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. Honestly, over September, I expect to hear some news about Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis as well. And that's a game that I'm very interested in doing some coverage on. Let me know in the comments below if you want to know more about my opinions on Ever Crisis, or if you haven't seen it already, perhaps go and take a look at the video I released about it fairly recently. And let me know in the comments below what you're excited about when it comes to Opera Omnia. And thank you ever so much for joining me. Thank you all ever so much for joining me down in the chat below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications on any future videos I might be making, whether they be about Dissidia or not. And it would be lovely to see more of you with the not bit. And that's going to be it from me. So thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.